Okay, so let's continue. We're going to be looking at those exam questions. Remember, at the end of every section, they put everything back together, right? So no new topics, just putting things together. However, they're going to put them together in application problems, which means that there may be some things you need to think about. So we will still write a few things down probably, but these are not things that are new material. We've done so every one of these. That's one thing that's nice about this book. We'll do the skills first, and then we'll look at some applications of the skills instead of doing all the skills for all the algebra and then applications at the end, right? So you'll get to use them as you go, which y'all won't like, but it'll be good for you. Trust me. Okay? All right. All right. And you'll see some of the exponent stuff. You pretty good with this? All right. Here we go. So let's look first at number 2. Now, I'm not going to rewrite all of these. You can see it. It's number 2 on page 15. A square has sides which are 3p to the 4th q units long. Write an expression for the area of the square. So what we have here is we have a square. And we know it says that the sides are 3p to the 4th q long. You agree? And what do you know about area of a square? Area equals what? Well, okay. And it's length and width, so you're multiplying two sides together. So the area of a square is a special kind of rectangle, isn't it? So you just take the side and what? Square it. Right? So if this side, and it's a square, if this side is 3p to the 4th q, then what do you know about all the other sides? They're all the same. We don't only need 2 of them because to get the area, we just multiply one of them times the other. So I'm going to take, what's my formula going to be? 3p, 4q, and I can either square that, right? Because that's how to do it. But it doesn't really matter because if I square it, that means I have to take the entire bracket times what? So is there any benefit to writing it as squared first? Not really. You could simply write it as in its expanded form. So either way, they both mean the same thing. You're going to have to do this anyway. All right. So now let's get the area. 3 times 3 is? 9. P to the 4th times P to the 4th is? 8. Good. Q times Q is? And there's your area. Okay? All right. So all you're doing is doing some applications, and applications from geometry are really easy because you're familiar with the formulas, or you can Google the formula, right? Okay? And we're going to use them a lot because when we do take this exam, they're going to assume that you know some of these. Like area of a square. So.
Could you do it like numbers are different? You know different sides. Example number 3.
Well, I don't know because we're doing example number 4. So now get area of number 4. The area of a square. I like it. I get squares. Y'all get rectangles. The area of a square. You're talking about. So number 3 is the cuboid. Cuboid. You don't get area. You get what, guys? Volume. So what's the formula for volume? Just length times width times height. Just multiply the 3 sides together. Okay? All right. But we're looking at number 4 here. On number 4 on page 15, the area of a square is given by the expression area equals 16x to the 16th y to the 4th. Write an expression for the length of one side. Okay? So it's 16x to the 16th y to the 4th is the area, right? So this time they're not giving us that. They want to know what the sides are. What is the formula for area of a square? Side what? Squared. So in other words, they've already squared this, right? But we want to find the length of the side, which means we need to, we need to unsquare it. In other words, take the square root of it. So the square root of 16, x to the 16th, y to the 4th. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of the x to the 16 is x to the 8. Square root of y to the 4th is y to the 2nd. Be careful. Don't just say that. Yeah. Y to the 2nd. Because otherwise, later when you do it, you're going to write down 2 instead of y to the second. If you're not used to saying it right, then you're not going to.
Y to the 2.
Or that's fine. But what y'all are saying is y'all are leaving off the y. You're just saying the number. You need to say y to the second because you got to get it in there. Okay? Yes.
Can you leave it as just in square root thing? Like have it as just 16 x to the power of 16, but in the square. I can't remember the word for it.
In the radical?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
No. They want to know how long one side is. This is how long one side is. So you must actually take the root. The answer is the root.
This is not an expression. It's expression.
Okay. Expression just means,
Answer.
yeah. This is an expression because you can't get it to be just a number. So you can't answer it, right? So you're writing an expression because this is an expression. An expression simply means, okay,
Mr. Self, I think you really need to do number 5.
that it has no equal symbol. Anything that doesn't have an equal symbol is an expression.
Number 5 is a rectangle one, and you have to find a length.
Oh, I did do
Things you can't just divide it by 2.
Well, you know one of them. If you know one side, and you know that they were multiplied together, what's the opposite of multiply? Divide the area by the side you know, and you'll get what? The other side. So you know how to do it. Come on, guys. All right. Look at number 6. A cube has sides which are 5x squared y long. Write an expression for the volume of the cube. Okay? What is the expression of volume of a cube? Well, it's a cube, so that means they're all the same, right? So it's just side what?
Length times what?
It's just length times with times.
But it's a cube. What does that mean about all the sides?
3. Cube.
That they just take each side and multiply it times itself 3 times, right? You cube it, right? That's where the word cube comes from. So because we know it's a cube, we know all the sides are the same. Now, yes, what if it was volume of a cuboid? Then it's length times width times height. Cuboid means that it's a rectangular shape like this. Tissue box, right? But a cube means that all the sides are the same. So it's just sides cubed. Okay? All right? So, what do they say the sides are? Raised to the third power. Number 6.
Do we need to lengthen that out?
Now, I would not like it like that. I would want you to expand it. Right? And you can use the shortcut if you want to, but remember that if later you use the shortcut comes back to bite you, it's not my problem. 5 times 5 is 25, times another 5 is 125.
2 times 1.
X squared times x squared times x squared is x to the 6. 2 plus 2 plus 2, right? Y times y times y is y to the third. So there's your volume. Okay? Now, I don't know that they asked you to simplify it, but we did anyway. It's not going to hurt you. It didn't say find the volume. It said write an expression. So they may be perfectly happy with volume equals 5x squared y raised to the third power. But it didn't kill you to multiply it out, right?
What if you just did both?
So I would do both. I would do that one and then go on to the next. I would do both.
So would you write the...
So that's what I would write as my answer.
Did you find... Oh, wait.
But when you're checking in the back, they may leave it at that.
Squared y to the bracket 3.
Yeah. Guys, come on. The volume of a cube is given by the expression volume equals 64, a to the 6, b to the 12. Write an expression for one side. So what I want is one side of the cube. So the volume of a cube is to find the volume of a cube, you cube it. So to unfind the volume of it, you what? do the opposite, which is the cube root. So just take the third or cube root of the sides. And remember, cube root of 64 is? 4. Good. Cube root of a to the 6 is? A to the second. The cube root of b to the 12th is? B to the 4th. Say the whole thing, please. So don't forget the letters. And again, it may sound like I'm just being a total pain, which I am because I'm a math teacher. I get to. Thank you. Y'all pay me to do that. I love that. But if you don't say it now, then you're likely to miss it later, and it's a real problem. You might not think that, but just think over the course of 20 years how many math tests I've graded. Okay, so I've seen it time and time and time again where students just say, oh, so it's 4, and then it's 2, then it's 4, and then I've got to multiply those together. I'm telling you, you make wacky decisions when you're under the pressure of a test, right? So get in the habit of saying it's not just 2, it's a to the second, b to the 4th, okay? Use the language. Okay? All right, let's look at number 10. If I can do number 10, I've never seen it before. The area of the end of a cylinder is given by the expression area equals pi f to the 4th g to the 2nd. Its length is f g to the 3rd. Okay? Write an expression for the volume of a cylinder. You can leave pi in your answer. Okay? So, if the area is that, okay, and this is the length, all I need to do is divide out what I know, yeah? Because if we find the volume, so what we need is the volume formula. This is the volume, this is the area of it. What is the volume formula? Oh, what are we being asked to find? Okay, here's our formula. The volume of a cylinder is area times length. Right? So I know the area, I know the length. All I need to do is what? Multiply them together. So it's pi f to the 4th, because you're a genius. F to the 4th times f g to the 3rd. Pi times nothing just stays. F to the 4th times f becomes f to the 5th. Yeah, be careful. G to the 2nd times g to the 3rd is... And there's your answer. You're just finding that, yeah. So you're multiplying. I was thinking you're going backwards. Okay? It's good? All right, so you have homework. Pages 15 and 16, the odds. There you go. So today we have done pages 14 through 16. So you need to be able to do the odds of all of those. Okay?